want this resolution to pass for the sake of civilians in the Gaza Strip who are facing dire circumstances. Now, this is not a ceasefire resolution. That would never be allowed to pass. The United States would certainly veto any kind of resolution calling for a ceasefire, as it has done already in the past. This resolution calls for a suspension of hostilities, and it also crucially calls for a UN monitoring mechanism to keep an eye on the supply of aid coming into the Gaza Strip and facilitate that. And it seems that the two sticking points for the United States are this suspension of hostilities. The US does not want it to seem like there would be any kind of more permanent pause in the fighting. The US, like Israel, has argued that a ceasefire of any sort would only benefit Hamas. But it also seems that the United States has a problem with the United Nations taking over supervision of aid coming into Gaza because Israel wants to stay in control of this. And so we've heard from diplomats that the United States put forward yet again another version of this text, essentially killing the part about a UN monitoring mechanism for aid, but the countries that penned this resolution do not want to water it down further. And so at this point, it seems quite likely that we might be headed towards another US veto of a Security Council resolution, which would be quite devastating for civilians there on the ground. We've also heard from diplomats that the US ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, was in DC last night, and that she may have spoken directly to Biden to ask for the United States not to veto. But then again, this cannot be confirmed. This is only what some diplomats here have been telling us. Certainly it seems that there is unease within the Biden administration and some differences of opinion on how this issue should be tackled here at the United Nations, on just to what extent the United States should support Israel here at the UN.